muscle. All right, so we have to get a good understanding of muscle. All right, because when you talk about muscle, most people think it's all about your biceps or your chest, and people are like, "Oh, well, I'm not trying to get bodybuilding. I'm not into that." You have to be into that. Think about the term bodybuilding. Who bodybuilds? God, right? No? Isn't that what gods do? Build bodies? So how you not into that? Oh, not into that. No. Okay. Then somebody else gonna build up your body. If somebody else is building your body, you got. That's why on the cover of the DVD it says, "Are you German engineer? Are you a German engineer like a Mercedes-Benz?" You might be. But we have to understand this because your brain is a muscle. Your heart is a muscle. The only organ you have that's not a muscle is the lungs. And the lungs are also have their own muscle that controls it, the diaphragm. So everything is muscle. You can't be healthy if you don't understand muscle. And now, if we are made of different types of muscle, then guess what? We're different types. Right? All right. So let's get into it a little bit deeper. It's just a prelude to the main course. The brother was talking about the soil, the minerals that are missing in the soil, etc., etc. Right? For those of you that were here for Brother Levi's class just prior. All right? For those of y'all that missed it, tough. You should have been here. Right. But Europeans now, understanding that Europeans, their quote-unquote melanin is not made of selenium. When they remove the selenium from the soil, who's that going to hurt? Only you. So see, they try to make these things look like global crises, but they're not. When they remove selenium from the soil, that only hurts you. So they remove the selenium, remove the nitrates, and plow it in there with just pure nitrogen. Who's that going to hurt? They have an ammonia transport system. Their body can process ammonia like a nutrient. Their blood cells can process it like a nutrient. So it's only going to hurt you. Okay? And that's why we come right to this. Ammonia versus water molecules. Because again, the same problem that we have with nitrogen and oxygen being at war, the same thing we see with ammonia and water. So the reason why they can be out there in the cold weather is because they have high levels of circulating ammonia. Period. Now, an ammonia transport system is only natural on this planet to rhesus monkeys and yeast. Rhesus monkeys and yeast are the only two organisms that are naturally have an ammonia transport system. The next thing you say is, well, where did Europeans get it? From the monkeys. They're family members. Yes, we like that part. Like Minister Enqi always calling them folks monkeys. No, that's not true. Minister Enqi just reads the European books. Europeans called themselves monkeys. They said they came from the one-cell organism that turned into a fish, that turned into a land thing, and turned into a monkey, and then turned into them. I didn't have to say that. I just read the book. So see, that's where sometimes we get confused and we're debating things that are outdated. Like, we're debating where Europeans came from, and Europeans have already said, we came from monkeys. So when I say they came from monkeys, like, oh, I'm ready to debate, Mr. Enqi. Europeans didn't come from monkeys, they came from us. Why are you so thirsty to tie them into you? Why? They're the most destructive animals on the planet. What you want to be their cousin for? That's my brother, that's my sister. No, it's not. That's your enemy. Tearing your ass up. Okay? The problem is, every time we add nitrogen to our body and it combines with water, you get this guy, ammonia. All you have to do is look at the symbol for it. Nitrogen plus hydrogen gives you ammonia. Nitrogen plus hydrogen gives you ammonia. They say, well, wait a minute, Minister Enqi, something's missing because in a water molecule you have hydrogen and oxygen. I already told you out the gate, nitrogen and oxygen can't occupy the same space. So the nitrogen is going to come in and knock this guy right on out of there, depending on whose gang is bigger at the time. There's a war going on in your body, like Bloods and Crips, right? They're going to come in, knock you out, and now you have ammonia production. It's easy. Drink that Pepsi for 15 years, you're on a dialysis machine. And people thank God for the dialysis machine. If it wasn't for this dialysis machine, I wouldn't know what to do. Man, them doctors saved me. And other people that can't get the dialysis machine, you know, Medicaid turned me down for my dialysis machine. I don't know what I'm going to do. Never in your mind you say, I'm going to put the Pepsi down. We're not going to put the Pepsi down. All right. So here, I just added a quick little slide in because I wanted people to see. This is a study that they did almost 20 years ago. All right? Not Minister Enqi. Almost 20 years ago, they did this in Jamaica. All right? Outlining the white blood cell count. So you can see the Caucasian, as you move on down, has a much higher all-around white blood cell count, and then each individual category than you do. All right? So if you get the PDF or the video, it'll be in there, and you can study it at your leisure. At your leisure. But you see, the pure African has the lowest amount of white blood cells. All right? As we start the mixing thing, and I got classes coming on that, the mixing issue. You see, you start to get higher. You see the Jamaicans are right there, then the Afro-Caribbeans, and that's deep, right? The Afro-Caribbeans versus Jamaicans. What is that? Right? Now, I'll tell you what my own personal, I made my own definition up for the Afro-Caribbeans versus Jamaicans. The Jamaicans are the black folks that live in the islands that love to be like white folks. So they down there bleaching like nobody's business. Bleaching cream sells like 2 to 1 in Jamaica than anywhere else. And Jamaican have the most churches there per square mile. So it's just correlation, I'm just saying. Something in that church makes those folks want to become white. I don't know. Then you have the Africans and the black folks down there that's resistant. You know, the niggas. All right? Now, this is why understanding the blood types are important in the relevance to your diet. Because your blood type, and this is why we're going to go into a little bit more into the sugars if we have time. Sugars are what determines the blood type. Okay, so you have 8 essential sugars, and the sugar chains attached to the blood is what creates the antigen that gives you the rise to the type. Okay, so now you can see we can't even have healthy blood unless we understand sugar, right? All right, and now this is not a bad word. I just want y'all to, because if I go through them, GLC, gal, then I get to that one, then it's like, okay, Minister Enqi, back to your old tricks again, huh? See, this woman right here in the front row on the right. She stopped me from saying cuss words in the lectures, at least on Sundays. I try it. All right. So it's very important to understand these natural sugars, because if we don't get them, it's impossible to be healthy. Sugar is not your enemy. Salt is not your enemy. You have to have salt. You have to have sugar. Those things are crucial to your health. All right? And it's not glucose. Glucose is not the star of the show. Glucose is a problem. Okay? Glucose is a problem. That's why you have diabetes, because you have so much high levels of circulating glucose. All right? So we talked about nitrogen and oxygen. We'll get a little bit deeper into our hemoglobin a little bit later. All right? Iron overload. All right? Now, again, I'm just showing you the differences in Europeans and Africans and how understanding your body is making you sick. This is supposed to be type 3 diabetes. All right? Type 3 diabetes, quote unquote, is where, and it's called hematochromatosis or something like that. This is a scientific term. Their response to this. Iron overload. It's due to your duodenum absorbing iron too well. So while some of us are anemic because we can't seem to get the iron, some of us absorb iron too well. What is that? That's called confusion. That's called lack of education about your body. Okay? Because we know too much about things that are foolish. You have to understand that your brain, you have neural networks in your brain. Okay? You can't fill up your brain with too much bogus information. All right? People call me all the time because I'm Minister Enqi in the conscious community, so they think that I'm up to date on whatever else is going on with such and such. yo, did you hear about what happened on the video with this guy and that guy? Nah, I don't know what happened. I have to keep blinders on so that I can keep filling my information up with this, my mind up with this, so I can have this in there circulating, because you can't have too much foolishness in there. You don't have that space and capacity. You're wasting your time. All right? My mother used to always tell me, an idle mind is the devil's playground, and that's the truth. All right? So this is here just so we can understand that there's some opposites at play. All right? Hemochromatosis. All right? That's what it's called. Hemochromatosis. All right? Very simple. All right? This is going through the iron transport chain. You'll have it in the DVD, etc., if you get it. All right? It's just showing you how our bodies are so efficient at processing iron. If you're on a specific type of diet, you could face iron overload. And what this really deals with is too much nitrogen, not too much iron. Because when you have too much nitrogen, the nitrogen pulls the iron out of the blood cells and lodges it in tissues to store it. All right? So, again, nitrogen is not your buddy. All right? Nitrogen is not your buddy. Partner. All right, Mo, we know you diesel, bro. We see it. Yeah, let's block the sunlight out. Oh, I like that. We're running out of chairs in the back. Good. Standing room only. Enqi's in it. All right. The nitrogen cycle. The reason why I put this here is because they teach this in school, but there's something missing from this. What's missing from this is lightning. Okay? Because Mother Nature doesn't like nitrogen either. This is why you shouldn't. Okay? Every time you see lightning flash, lightning is destroying nitrogen molecules. All right? It breaks up the nitrogen atoms and bonds them to oxygen, which creates nitrate, NO3. All right? And this is where the confusion comes in when people say, oh, but you need nitrogen to grow plants and da-da-da-da-da. No, you don't. It's a nitrate. Because when you bond the nitrogen to oxygen, you see now that nitrogen is surrounded by 3 oxygens. Now it knows how to behave itself. Because it got 3 security guards on it like, don't do it. Take it easy. We're going to escort you in, we're going to escort you out. We're going to keep everything turned down. Okay? That's how that's working. The moment that balance gets out of order, you have a problem. All right? So, under the correct environmental conditions, food, nitrate, nutrients goes in, comes out, you're in good business. Okay? But we have the opposite happening, because these are supposed to be waste products. But instead, we're using nitrogen as a food product. So instead of nitrates going in, we have pure unadulterated nitrogen going in. And most of us don't have what I would consider food going in. It's another source of nitrogen going in, and it's completely devoid of nutrients. Okay, so if you're eating, let's say for instance, I don't know, we go to soul food spot, quote unquote. We get a chicken, macaroni and cheese, white rice with a little bit of greens on the side. We think we're doing something. I eat greens. No, you don't. Stop. Those greens is cooked with turkey necks, pork back, vinegar, apple cider vinegar, Bragg's. My ringer's in the back over there. Biggie Mafia's in the back. Right? So that's another source of nitrogen. All right. Meat, flesh. Meat, flesh. Repeat after me. Meat, flesh. Meat, flesh. Okay. We do not have the enzymes in our body to process flesh. We do not have the enzymes in our body to process this. That is not a weakness. That puts us at a much higher place on the correct food chain. Okay, when you look at the incorrect food chain, the sun is at the bottom. You're eating the animals, that's at the top. No, that's the wrong way. Okay? If you can get your energy from the sun directly or from the plants directly, you are at the top. All right? Which is here. All right? This is not for you. All right? The only creatures on the planet that have to get energy from another animal is a vampire. And it's not in the sense of like comic books or the movies. It's a leech. You're living off somebody else. You're sucking somebody else's life force. You don't have to do that. You don't have to suck the life force out of a cow. You don't have to suck the life force out of chickens. You can go directly to the source. You can take off your clothes and get it right from the sun. Your body can produce protein from the air. Your body can produce water internally from the fat that you have stored up. When oxygen oxidizes fat, it creates water in your body. This is why athletes that's in shape can work out longer. The longer you can work out, because you have a much more efficient process of oxidizing fat in your body. And you can get natural healthy fats. Fats are good. It's the type of fats. The same way we have a misunderstanding of sugar, where we think sugar's bad. It's the type of sugar. These things are loaded with sugar. I got some mangoes in the back. Boy, that'll put Domino's to shame.
She's not sharing though.
Absolutely not. However, I will share what's in the mangoes information-wise. It's sugar. All right? We got to get those healthy sugars. All right? We don't have the enzymes for this. And this is an unhappy existence where you have to live off the back of someone else. You don't have to do that. You don't want to be there. All right? Amino acids, all amino acids are not the same. All amino acids are not the same. Okay? And when we get amino acids from our natural fruit sources, our natural nut sources, they're combined in chains, all right, which is called a protein that renders them harmless/healthy for you, all right? Because your body supplies the blueprint for how they will combine. That's what your DNA and RNA is doing, synthesizing proteins. When you get animals, when you eat an animal, your body cannot do anything with that protein. Right? So begin to start laughing at people in the face when they say, oh, if you don't eat meat, you're not getting protein. You can look at them and say, no, if you're eating meat, you're not getting protein. Because your body can't do anything with a protein that's already put together. Okay? A protein is a string of amino acids. That's what your DNA's job is for. You're cutting your DNA out of the whole process. Your DNA takes the amino acids and says, listen, we need these types of proteins, go ahead and build that up. When you eat an animal, you're going by the animal's DNA. So now the animal is deciding what type of proteins you need. How can that work in you? If a cow's supposed to be 700 pounds and you load it up with cow hormones, where you headed? 700 pounds! Then it's thinking how you lost weight. Oh, it's very simple. I'm working with my hormones. See, once I eat the plants, there's no confusion. Because the plants are not putting competing DNA in my body. It's not putting a competing set of instructions in there. Right? How many people had parents that used to argue and drive you crazy? Daddy telling you to do one thing, mommy telling you to do something else. Confusion. That's happening in your body, you're going to be sick. Okay? So I use these guys for example because a lot of us goes to the GNC and vitamin shop, we want to get big, and we get arginine, or we get glutamate. I should have put that sucker up here too. Those are almost all nitrogen and ammonia forming in your body. In fact, it's glutamate that causes the epileptic seizures. All right? So, but when it's combined, you have leucine that neutralizes that. Okay? And if you look at, that's why I put the chemical formulas up so you can see how it does that. You see? It keeps these nasty nitrogen and ammonia forming, because this is ammonia waiting to happen. NH2. All it needs is one more nitrogen to float around. You got ammonia. All right? Glucose. Table sugar. That is your problem. All right? You need galactose, mannose, xylose, fucose. These are debatable, but I'm going to leave them there for now. All right? You might have a lesson coming up in a month or two after we get this down pat where I talk to you about these guys here. But these are also N-acetyl glucosamine, N-acetyl galactosamine, etc., etc. So those are your 8 essential biological sugars. These are the good guys that are found in your fruits. All right? Now, the more expensive the fruit, usually the more of your sugars you're going to get in there, like dates. I tell people to load up on dates. They're like, minister, you know them dates about $9 a box. I'm like, hey, diabetes medication expensive too. You gotta pick your poison. Okay? Vitamin D though. Vitamin D is just like the sun. You know that's liquid sunlight, right? We don't know that?
Yes, we know that.
Okay, right?
Right.
Okay, there we go. Vitamin D turns nitrogen back into carbon. Okay? When we deal with carbon decaying, carbon decays into nitrogen. So we talk about melanin and its relation to carbon, but we don't understand the carbon relationship to nitrogen. This is one of the reasons why white folks lead in skin cancer all over the world. That's the only cancer they do lead in. Everything else, we get the trophy for that. Okay, we're leading all the cancers except skin cancer. And the reason being is because the sun reaches right down into their DNA and tries to turn that nitrogen into carbon, and they don't have the integrity in their cells for that to hold up. Okay, for you that happens, and you get darker. As more nitrogen is converted to carbon, more genes are created, more mutated cells are destroyed, you get darker. Okay, that's what's happening. All right? Glucose, the fundamental essential sugar. All right? The mineral chart. We kind of went through those relationships, so you got that. Ionization. All right? Hopefully we get to it, and I will show you that this is what we have to start to look at the body as. All right? Your body is an ionizing machine. That's what your body is looking to do. The process of ionizing is simply making something into a more rarefied form. So you go from a solid to a liquid to a gas to a plasma. And plasma is what is the basis of your body. That's where your intelligence lies at. That's where your spirit is at. All right? It's in your plasma. Plasma runs the show throughout your entire body. Nothing in your body can work save the plasma supplies the intelligence for it to do so. All right?
I shouldn't donate plasma.
You should not donate plasma unless it's directly to a family member. None of that in general donating, because they making super bread off your junk. So you should sell some plasma. White folks ain't start cutting no good deals on us yet, because we got too many people that's struggling. They could put up a sign on the trade all over Philly. $25. Come on and donate something, and we're doing the test study. Blah 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 blah.
What about coconut water?
Coconut water is awesome. Do not start your stuff, Mom. But this is what your body wants to do. So the closer you can get to plasma is where you want to go. It's the plasma inside the eyeball that allows you to see. Okay? It's the plasma inside the ear that creates sound. All right? Around your heart, the pericardium holds plasma for the heart to function. Once that dries out, that is the leading cause of cardiac arrest. All right? Everywhere in the body. So we talked about these guys. All right? Spirulina is good for who? Come on. That works. Chlorella is good for who? Okay. Now we're going to get more specific into the reason why we all need chlorophyll, and that's because of this guy in the middle. Magnesium. Spirulina is a bacteria. But we usually hear chlorella and spirulina in the same sentence, like they're interchangeable. All right? But the whole idea of getting more chlorophyll, like, so when you hear people, for instance, Minister Enqi or Dr. Savior or Dr. this guy, that guy, anybody you hear that has reversed any condition by telling people to go green, add more green to your diet, add chlorophyll to your diet. It's not the green and the chlorophyll. It's the magnesium that your body's looking for. The only difference between this plant cell and your red blood cell is the magnesium in the middle. Period. That's it. You got iron in your red blood cells, there's magnesium here. So that's all you're looking for is magnesium. That is the one thing that can stop the red number 40, the blue number 5, the high fructose corn syrup, all of those toxins that's causing your kids to, you can't sit down. Frosted Flakes. This is going to protect them from Captain Crunch. Okay? Magnesium.
Literally.
That's your nervous. That's the only thing that protects your neurons. Period. All right? The only thing that can protect your nervous system. Period. All right?
That's Enqi.
Yep.
They took magnesium out of the soil on purpose.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And that's why we got to understand these differences, because when they remove these things from the diet, they affect us differently. Okay, they affect us differently. All right. So here's a close-up of your red blood cell, just so you can see. And here's the chlorophyll cell. All right. The structure is almost 98% completely identical, except for this. So this is what we're looking for. So of course, Minister Enqi has a new formula called Magnet with about 20 times the amount of magnesium in it as Mama-tomics. And I already have a good success story. I already have an awesome success story. Brother I work with up in Ohio, he said his son, they were going to do a biopsy on his neck for leukemia. He was down. I overnighted him some Magnet. 4 days he was back to playing baseball. Period. Just magnesium deficiency. A lot of these metabolic illnesses are mineral deficiencies that we deal with. And these are the crucial ones. Magnesium, selenium, etc. The things that affect you that don't necessarily affect Europeans. Differences. Alright? So I go do some of the dietary regimen, but I want to speed because I want to get to the beet potatoes. Alright, and we got a couple of other things planned. We got demonstration, bringing up the young ministress. So here's some of the issues that you can have if you're not having enough magnesium. Irregular heartbeat, okay? Because I started to get way too many people saying me they having newborns with irregular heartbeats, all right? And too many people that are 30, 40, and 50 years old that I'm checking their blood pressure finding irregular heartbeats. That's scary, that you've been walking around with a regular heartbeat for 30, 40 years and you don't know. This is how you see people play basketball and fall down and don't get up. They didn't know that they had a irregular heartbeat or a heart murmur, etc., etc. It's just magnesium. Cardiovascular disease, anxiety. If I say how many people got anxiety in this room, we almost all raising our hand. Right? Insomnia, nervousness, fatigue. This is a big problem right here. Fatigue combined with muscle joint pains is what? What do they call that? There's a new word for this. See, scientists make up new words so they can sell you new stuff. Fatigue combined with muscle and joint pains, not arthritis. Fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, seizures. See, they snuck that right on in there. Because it's magnesium that's going to protect the astrocytes on the top of your brain from the glutamate. Okay? It's going to protect you from the chicken. Okay? Should I say it that way, the chicken? Because it's like the smarter we get, churches still doesn't lose any business. I don't know what's happening. You got all these DVDs from Sabies and Africas all the way down to Enqis and Dr. Ali's, and churches are still rolling. We got people walking, yo, we gotta get these drug dealers out the neighborhood. You know, these drug dealers out the neighborhood. And I don't see them focused on nobody but black folks. Why are you not focused on the big time drug dealers? I promise you, nobody outside selling more weed or crack than churches are selling chicken. I promise you. They getting it in right there in churches with a license to do it. Nobody saying nothing about churches. When I was little, the crackheads that was in my neighborhood then are still in my neighborhood now. And they look the same. So that means what? Crack is obviously nowhere near as dangerous as chicken.
It's the straight face thing. It's funny.
Chicken taking niggas down. Diabetes, high blood pressure. And it's not the grease. They got you. Oh no, I don't eat fried food, brother. You're not baking chicken. You have the baked chicken. Okay. Still producing that nitrogen, which is causing your problems. It's not the grease. Grease and water don't mix. Oil and water don't mix. Your body separates that immediately. You can feel that in your face. So the oil is just making you ugly.
Right.
I be walking around my daughter pointing girls out. Like, look at that girl right there. You see that? She look pretty, right? Yep, daddy. I'm like, now look at her face. Watch that. Why she look like that? She in a Chinese restaurant. Why do you keep putting that same brown powder on everything? What is that? You don't know. Most of us don't care. It tastes good. MSG. All right? Muscle spasms, cramps. Cramps. Why are there some women that never have a bad menstrual cycle, and some women always have it. It's almost debilitating. Check. So milk, all right? This is the problem. A baby's digestive system is undeveloped. So your body has a system for that, okay? And what your body does is it allows milk to bypass all of the checks and balances that would normally keep you healthy and go straight into the bloodstream. Milk goes straight into your bloodstream. So the problem about us being intolerant is not the lactose, it's not the sugar. Because you're getting the same sugars in dates. You're getting the same sugars in your watermelon, all the good stuff you like. Mangoes. It's the protein. It's safer to smoke a cigarette than drink a cup of milk. Now, anaerobic energy versus aerobic energy. All right? The only thing I want you to know here is that aerobic energy is energy being produced at the cellular level with oxygen. With oxygen. Anaerobic energy is energy being produced with nitrogen. Okay? With nitrogen. All right? Now, we're going to deal with this because this is very important. So, aerobic energy is produced with what?
Oxygen.
Anaerobic energy?
Nitrogen.
All right. So this is kind of the Krebs cycle and ATP, and we can go deeper into that. But I'll say the only thing I'll say about this now is that, again, this is another reason why we need magnesium. It's another reason why we got to understand science. Because some of us understand what ATP is. Oh, that's the energy your cells produce. Here's the part that you don't get because they don't teach it. At least not on the surface, not in public venues. All right? When you get into real scientific discussions, that's when they teach it. Your body cannot use ATP anywhere. Your body uses mg ATP for energy. So when your body cells produce ATP, it's magnesium that has to escort that ATP into the cell in order for it to be usable. So if you're always tired, again, it's magnesium. Correct. So, I just want to slip that in. Hot versus cold, all right? The reason why, well, let me say this for the people that are not familiar with Sunday school. Hot, heat, the sensation heat is life force entering your body, all right? The cold sensation is life force leaving your body. Anything that touches you that makes you feel cold means it's pulling life force out of you. Anything that touches you to make you feel warm means life force is coming into you. So when the sun is up, it's summertime, it's nice and warm outside, that means there's an abundance of negative ions in the air. Negative ions feed your body life force, feed your body electricity. Yes, sir. So when it's cold outside, that means there's a bunch of positive ions in the air sucking the life force out of your body. And you try to bundle up as much as possible to stop that from happening. All right? This is why you particularly have to protect your neck area, because your thymus and your thyroid are there, which controls your body's ability to alkaline itself. Okay? So it's not just metabolism, but it's your body's ability to alkaline itself, utilize nutrients. All right? That is the area that controls your kidneys. So we have kidney issues, we have to address this area. So it's always important to keep that scarf on. All right? But now we take it to another level. Ammonia is a positive ion. So when we have tons of ammonia floating through our body, we go outside. If it's cold outside, we have the cold ions inside. They neutralize each other. We can stay outside in 0 below temperature. We can swim in the cold water, like polar bears. If we don't have that natural, abundant ammonia in our body, we're going to freeze to death out there. That's us, black folks. Okay? Now, these guys, fast twitch muscle, medium twitch muscle, slow twitch muscle. The reason why the picture is there is so that you can see. Do these look different outside of their size?
One look like black people, one look like white people.
Well, that's true.
Yo, this one right here though.
But if you look at them closely, you can just see that these are not really different types. This is just an underdeveloped medium twitch, which is an underdeveloped fast twitch. Now the problem when you get into the real core is these guys do not use aerobic energy. These guys use anaerobic energy. These guys use aerobic energy. Your body's full of fast twitch muscle. A European is full of slow twitch muscle. So now if every organ and tissue in your body is composed of different cells, different pigment, and different type of fibers, is that not enough to say that we're different? Okay, the video doesn't pick up head nods.
Yes, enough.
There we go.
We're
yeah,
different.
See? Yeah, where's the camera? Where you at? Yeah, there are humans here. Trust me. Not just me and Jason. And everybody knows that's Maul in the back. Yeah, we need real talk fans, right? All right, so understanding this is the key to your health because your organs, your heart, your tissue, your brain are all muscle. All right? So we don't understand how to build muscle. If we're not building the body, you're not consciously trying to build your body, it's fine. Somebody else is doing it for you.
Ms. Enqi, can I
Yes, sir.
mention that muscle cells are the only cells that don't regenerate if you don't use them?
That's right. Muscle cells do not regenerate if you don't use them. They atrophy and they disappear. We have tons of muscle cells that are gone. We have organs that are dormant. There's a lot of things in the black body that are just not. You hear about this potential and it's not contingent on melanin alone. Melanin is not going to save you. Okay, if you're waiting for melanin to save you, you're in trouble.
You saved her.
That's right. You have to save yourself with information and activity. 10 minutes to switch tape? I don't know what you're saying, Jake. You got 2 tapes?
10 minutes left on this one.
Got you. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have a little demonstration maybe. Prince? Prince? All right. Maul, you're distracting Prince. We're going to have a little demonstration maybe. You're going to come up and show people how to do it?
Yeah,
You know, it's a little warm, but you know, I know you know how to. Yeah. So we're going to have a little demonstration on bodybuilding. After that, I'm going to bring up the young ministers, and then I'm going to come behind that and talk about the Nazis, and we'll find out if you're Germany engineered or not. All right? So these are some more small differences, and this will be in the DVD, so you can stay at home and pause it, and you can see the difference of what these things look like and how they behave in the body. All right? And this is why we have to have a different way of working out. That's the one thing I do want to add in closing. All right? So we developed the photogenic method, which is a way of working out based on bodies built with fast twitch muscles. There's a lot of racism in the gym. The gym and the laboratory works hand in hand. That's what bodybuilding goes on. Okay? So when they're telling you to work out this muscle on Monday, wait till Wednesday and all that, that's based on Nazi studying white folks and no. That's slow twitch muscle development. Okay? This is why they be so angry with you in the gym. You go to real hardcore. Now, you're in Planet Fitness, you're not gonna notice this. Planet Fitness is a no judgment zone. Okay? So that's not a real gym. You go to hardcore gym where hardcore cats is in there working out like you're gonna see the jealousy in there. They're gonna be mad as hell. You could go in there and lift the weights 3 times and you'd be looking huge. Homeboy sitting across from you, he injecting stuff in his booty, he injecting stuff in his neck, he in there like 7 hours, and he just scratching the surface of where you at. And you lazy. You getting ready to leave there, you're not gonna have no bananas, you're not gonna have no watermelons, you're getting ready to go right next door to the pizza shop, get you a couple of slices, and let me get a Pepsi, and he looking at you like, he loaded up on fruit, he vegan. They not playing. When we go down to the vegan restaurants, we be alone. It just be us. We done tore Hip City veg up. Prince got the whole projects down there. They be nervous as shit in there when we come in there. No, you order. You order. I'm all right. Lady behind the counter like, sir, you didn't order yet. No, I ordered. not used to that. They think that white folks are the only ones that want a $9 chicken sandwich. No, we do. We do too. I want one. Hell yeah. If you got $200 sneakers on, you get a $9 chicken sandwich.
Right.
So we have to begin to work out differently because we have different bodies. All right? And so I just wanted to show you.
So how should we work out?
This is how slow twitch muscles working. See that? Yeah, that's slow twitch muscle. Bring that back. That's slow twitch muscle. The contents. They even use glucose differently. Glycogen differently. GLUT4 muscles are different. The GLUT4 molecule is different. And we'll talk about that when we deal with diabetes. Because it's our lack of awareness of the GLUT4 molecule which keeps us sick. Okay? And how the muscles work. Alright? Because you really have diabetes because you're not exercising. You're lazy. Alright? Alright, so we're going to kind of skip through some of this and we're going to go straight to... Ooh, wait a minute. Yeah, we're skipping.
Right off the Barnary sub-stop, Philadelphia, PA. Shot so loud you would think it was a club spot. African Americans, although we all over the web, we the hood librarians. We ship to prisons too. We reach out and deliver to those that's bitten too, but it's more than a bookstore. You want it, we got it. Mixtapes, DVDs, and culture products. Black and Nobel got our hands in a lot of projects. We welcome all to come build. The energy is positive. And remember, other team is awake and conscious. Come through and experience this place of knowledge. They say they'll put it in a book if they wanna hide it from us, but we got them books so you can buy it from us. Something to read while you on a train or riding a bus. Get your read on, food for thought, get your eat on. Black and Nobel, I buy my books at Black and Nobel.